Look at that big boy. Look at that good alligator right there. What's up, guys? Just hanging out in the pond with Casper after doing one of my underwater gator tours today. We're just chilling in here, hanging out with him. Yeah, big old alligator right there, huh? So I want to talk about one of the most common misconceptions that people have when I'm working with him, especially when they see stuff like that, where he swims right up against my face and he doesn't kill me. And then everybody's like, oh, well, that must mean he's your friend and he would never hurt you or anything like that, right? And that is incorrect, guys, okay? I say this one all the time. I'm gonna say it again. He is trained, not tame. And there's a difference between those two words, okay? He is trained in the idea that he knows his name, comes when he's called, and I've also trained him as far as handling and habituation goes to know how to work with me, what to do, what's acceptable behavior and what's not, and he's very, very aware of all this, so he knows exactly how to behave with me, but that does not mean that he's tame, okay? And that's really, really important. That's a lion back there, by the way. Hear all that going on. Yeah, that's a lion back there. But anyways, casual lion. Moving on. So what I was trying to say though is tame and train mean very different things. Okay, so tame means that he would never hurt you. Casper here would kill and eat me. If I was in here and I was impaired, like let's say right now a tree branch fell from up above, hit me in the head, knocked me unconscious right next to him. Oh, look at him. He's got his hand on my arm. He's holding on to me right there. Oh, how cute is that? You're not helping the point we're trying to get across right here, buddy. But no, even though he is hanging out with me right now and being super sweet, he's literally holding on to my arm right now with his hand. He's holding on to me, just chilling. But even though this is not helping my point at all. But really though, seriously, no joke, if one of the tree branches fell and hit me in the head right now and I'm hanging out with him and knocked me unconscious and then I'm just like in the water right here and I didn't drown and I was unconscious, Casper would come up and he'd nudge me, and if I was not responsive, he would eat me. And there's no doubt in my mind about that whatsoever. He would 100% eat me. Or even if I was somewhat awake or alive or whatever, and I was like, oh no, Casper, don't do it. He doesn't care, okay? If you're not like you in a way, like if I'm not how I am right now, if I was severely injured, I'm gonna be food for him, okay? And he would finish the job and he would eat me. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that or they don't want to believe it. And they're like, yeah, but he loves you. I have people all the time argue with me, but I look in his eyes and I can tell that he loves you. And I'm like, not so much, guys. No, that's not real. I'm sorry. I wish that he loved me. I love him. He does not love me, okay? And that's like super important to understand that alligators don't work like that, okay? They don't think like we do. He's an alligator, not a Labrador, okay? That's when I say all the time too. They're not pets. He does not love me or care about me the way that a dog does because he's not a dog. They don't work like that. Different animals behave differently. They have different brains, different genetic makeup, and different instincts. And his instincts don't work like that, even though he's holding my hand again right there, being all cute. But yeah, they don't work like that. And again, a lot of people think that they do. They don't. He's not a dog. He's not a pet. He is a trained wild animal. And so I'm able to do things with him that are super cool and awesome. And he will never attack me. Like, I'm very confident in that. Like, he would never attack me. Like, I'm sitting here next to him and he's going to suddenly just, rip my head off. Like, it's never going to happen. Okay. And I know the haters like, one day. I hear that every day. One day. It's been 13 years, bud. But but he'll never like full on attack me out of nowhere like that. But again, if I like trip and fell next to him or I showed weakness in some way or something like that, yes, he would absolutely latch onto me. And if I wasn't able to defend myself, he would kill and eat me. No doubt about it, because he's an alligator, not a Labrador, okay? And so that's why it's so important to always treat them with respect, always be aware, and always be careful around them. And if you're sitting here like, okay, but has he ever attacked you? No. He has never attacked me. Okay, but then how do you know he would? Because I've worked with enough alligators for going on like 20 years now, and I've seen enough behavior to verify this. And the best example of this behavior that I can give you is I worked with this pair of alligators at a different place, and it was a male and a female, and they'd been together forever, like, I don't know, like 20, 30 years, something like that. And so they were long-term housed together, male and female. And so, they mated. They were husband and wife or whatever you want to call it. They were together and they mated. that male could easily kill the female. Never did, never tried, never hurt her. You know, that's his girl. Like, he would never just like attack her and kill her and eat her or something like that. But he could if he wanted to. He's way bigger than her. Never did. And then one day, that female had a seizure. Oh, I don't know exactly what caused that, but you know, something, you know, caused her to have a seizure. And so she flipped over in the water, and as soon as she started seizing out, immediately he's eating her. And I mean immediately. That's like if this happened right now and I was like, oh, and Casper's sitting here right next to me, he's totally chill, he's not doing anything, and then I like fell down, immediately going to eat you. Okay? Like, zero hesitation, 0 second thought about it. That's like if you're walking down the sidewalk with the love of your life, you guys are holding hands, never had an argument, never had a fight, whatever, and then one of you tripped and fell and hit your head on the concrete. The other person's next step is to kneel down and start gnawing on your arm. Not to see if you're okay, not to check on you, but to start eating your arm, because you're no longer you. You are now disadvantaged, and you are now an opportunity for feeding. And that right there is the reality of working with these predatory animals. They do not love you. They do not treat you like a dog would. He is a wild animal. And although I have a great working relationship with him, there he is right behind me there, even though I have trained him and worked with him for many, many years, and he's never tried to attack me, I know that he is an alligator, not a Labrador. And again, if I went down, if I was disadvantaged, something went wrong, he would go to eat me. Now, again, he's not going to attack me. This is the thing. This is like the reoccurring problem of trying to explain this kind of stuff to the general public is, unfortunately, people think in extremes. You know, people think, on one hand, bloodthirsty killing machine that only thinks about trying to eat you at all times on this side, and then the other side is, it's a sweet puppy and he would never hurt you. He loves you. I can see it in his soul, and the cosmic connection between your souls and auras is so powerful. It's not real. It's not real. Sorry. Okay? Reality is in between those two things. He's not a bloodthirsty killing machine. He's not going to attack me for no reason. But he's also an alligator, not a Labrador. He does not love me. He does not have a magical, mythical bond with me. He can swim right up against me like this. I'm so confident. He's literally touching my chest right now with his nose, his teeth right there. And I'm very confident he'll never try to attack me like that. But I also know the reality that if something goes wrong, he'll latch on to you. Okay, and that's one that I just can't drive home enough. Okay, tame and train mean different things, and different animals have different behavior. And a lot of this stems psychologically from the fact that most general, people's only encounters with animals are with domesticated animals like dogs and cats. And so if you've only ever dealt with like your dog, then you think every animal is like that because it's the only animal you've ever really dealt with hands-on, which I know it sounds like really silly and kind of stupid, but that's kind of reality. That is really how most people think. And I hear it all day with all the many different kinds of exotic animals that I've worked with throughout my career, from alligators, crocodiles, penguins, orangutans, all the different kind of crazy animals I've worked with in my career. All the time, every day I hear tourists like, oh my God, it's just like my dog. No, it's not. But because that's their only frame of reference for what an animal is supposed to be like, they compare everything to their dog. And we can't think like that, He doesn't act like a dog. He acts like an alligator. That's what he acts like. And he does things that alligators do. Oh, but he's not attacking you right now. Well, that's because your idea of what an alligator is supposed to do is incorrect. That's another big part of this conversation, is people have the wrong idea of what an animal is supposed to be doing. That's another really big one right there. Once you get to know them and you understand them better, you realize, they're much more complex than what people give them credit for. Like, he's not just a killing machine, like I was just saying, but that doesn't mean he's a puppy. It doesn't mean that he's harmless. We do have to always be very careful working around him. Even me, I worked with him 13 years. Again, he's never going to attack me or anything like that. But, if I came up to him, like, here's another example I like to use is when your dog does something bad, and you go up to your dog and you're like, no, bad dog, no. Or somebody like does that and like, whatever, it gets in their face, that kind of a thing. You're like, bad dog. Yeah, try that with him. He'll rip your hand off. Okay, he doesn't take to that. Alligators do not like that, okay? So, again, he's not like a dog. You can't go up and be like, bad alligator. He's like, no, he's going to rip your hand off. And then he's going to eat it right in front of you. And he's not going to think twice or feel bad about it. Oh, that's the other big one, too. I always like to remind people is they don't have remorse. They don't feel bad about it. Like even your dog, when your dog does something it's not supposed to do, You know, like you come home and they ripped up the sofa, they look guilty. He could eat me right now. And then if someone else comes over and they see him, he's not going to feel any remorse or guilt about it. He's like, yeah, no, that guy, like, I don't know, something happened to him. I don't know. But, you know, he's not going to feel bad about it. And that's one of the most important things. They don't think like you do, and they don't think like a dog does. He thinks like an alligator does because he's an alligator. And once you understand that, you know, you realize what you can and can't do with him, and what's reality and what to not be upset for or about when he does the thing that he does because he's an alligator. You know, just like, again, right now he's not going to attack me. He can literally jump up and bite me in the head. He's not going to do that. But then if I took my hand and I didn't know he's right there and I just like did one of these and I hit him in the face with my hand, he'd bite my hand. And then I can't be mad at him for it because he's not attacking me. He's not like, oh, there's the human's hand, I'm going to eat it. It's because, no, I hit him in the face. He's going to rip my hand off. And because now it's in his mouth, he's like, it's mine now. And he's going to eat it, right? And you can't be mad at him for that because that's how he works. That's how they operate. But anyways, I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. But I just really like to just drive that home that they're trained, they're not tame, and he's an alligator, not a Labrador. I love him. He does not love me. And we always have to be careful and always treat them with respect.